Hi there, Michelle Zenisek here, Run With It VA. And today I want to talk about websites and the importance of having a website when you have an online presence. You don't necessarily have to be an online business, you could be a boutique. Um, and I know there are a lot of boutiques that didn't have an online presence. And once the pandemic started, they realized they needed an online presence. So found that a website is important. A website is important regardless of what you sell. And few reasons here. The website is the backbone of your online presence. So every piece of content, whether it's a social media post or an ad or an email that you're sending out to your list, it should be directly or indirectly sending people to your website. So, and what I mean by indirectly is, let's say you put a social media post out there, but it doesn't have like a link to go back to your website, but maybe it really struck a chord with your audience and they want to learn more about you. They're going to go to your social media page and they're going to look for how they can learn more about you. And that's why it's important to have a website and actually list that website in your social media profiles so that if you post something that really resonates with someone, they have a way to find out more about you. Okay. So your website will also increase sales and as more and more people look for ways to purchase online, not having a website means you lose out on sales. And this applies to whether you sell a product or service. Even for me, I sell services. Well, if people want to know more about me, then before they sign with me, they're going to want to go to my website and they're going to want to read testimonials. They're going to want to learn what my background is. And so it basically, like a website, if you're a service provider, a website is kind of like your online resume, but it can be more than that too. So when people ask me for a resume, I tell them I don't have a resume. I do have a resume, but I don't give it out because that's what my website is for, or my LinkedIn profile is for. Because this is a business versus when I work with clients, I'm not applying for a job. I'm looking to partner with clients to help them. And so therefore I'm not interested in sending them a resume. That's kind of an old school way of thinking. I would rather send them to my website or send them to my LinkedIn profile so they can learn more about me. Now, obviously, if you sell products, website becomes even more important because if you have a way for people to purchase those products online, you're going to make more sales. That's ultimately the case because they go to your website, they see something there, and they say, you know what, I do want that. If they have to actually say, oh, you know what, I have to actually go to their physical store and buy this, or I have to call them, then that gives them time to think about it and then decide, well, maybe I don't really want that item. So having a website where your products are for sale is a great way to increase your sales because that can happen even in your sleep. People could be buying your products even while you're sleeping. So, but ultimately, you can't just build a website and expect people to show up there. You have to do things to drive people to the website. The last thing I want to touch on with this is your website helps with building credibility for you and your business. And it's why I stress that it's so important to have a blog. And that you're regularly updating that blog with fresh content. I mean, if you go to a website where they have a blog and their last blog post is from 2 years ago, I'm not going to say that. I think it's a turnoff. Let's just say that. I think it's a turnoff. It doesn't mean that you aren't good at what you do and you don't know what you're talking about. It just it's going to it's gonna possibly resonate the wrong way with some people. And so what I would say is if you aren't in a position where you have the time to regularly blog, and when I say regularly blog, it could be once a month, okay? But if you're not in a position to regularly blog, then just don't have a blog on your website. I still will preach that it's important to have a blog, but I'd rather, if you're not gonna blog consistently and regularly, then it's probably better to just not have a blog. Your website can still build credibility for you with your content and with testimonials, but a blog just really adds to that tenfold. So anyway, that's really what I wanted to talk about today, is to talk about why a website is so important. For, especially if whether you have a brick and mortar or whether you are an online business, it is important for you to have a website that is where it's the backbone of your online presence. So feel free to reach out with any questions, and we'll talk again soon. Bye-bye.